Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the build of the week, and this week's build of the week is Defenders of Justice. So this is a pretty interesting category. I would say overall it's a category that I traditionally have a lot of fun with, but it's a category that also struggles to get frequent enough updates to really be a super top tier team. Yeah, it gets usually one yearly big update, but we're still waiting for an outright Defenders of Justice lead. You know, we only have Strength Videl, and she's been the lead that we've had for... So when she originally came out, having 170% lead across the board for your category was still considered an OP mechanic. So that should kind of demonstrate just how long she has been the sole lead for the game. Like, it's now been, I believe, a year since the 200% lead meta, and even before then we were starting to get 170% across the board leads. Now the big thing with the Defenders of Justice is a lot of them are support units. So the category in itself is kind of a bit strange, because like 9/10 of its team, especially if you don't include Dragon Ball heroes, is just support units. Like, it's just literally units that are good utility or good supports or provide buffs or debuffs or, you know, things like that. There's very few outright damage dealers on the team, but at the same time it's got a lot of utility. In terms of links, yeah, there's a couple to kind of prioritize. You've got things like Patrol, you've got things like Signature Pose, you've got things like Justice, I think it's called. What is it called? Justice. Not Defenders of Justice, it's Hero of Justice. There we go. So you've got Patrol, you've got Signature Pose, you've got Hero of Justice. A lot of them, because they're free to play units, they have Shattering the Limit. Cold Judgments also frequently quite common on this team. Solid Support's a fairly common link as well, obviously due to the fact that a lot of them are supports. So, you know, there's quite a decent kind of links, and these are not weak links. You know, Patrol's quite a strong link, Hero of Justice is a pretty strong offensive link. Shattering the Limits, obviously super common and, you know, relatively simple. Cold Judgment's obviously quite strong. But yeah, there are some pretty strong links here that you can use to kind of manifest and build your team, and they generally shared across the board. I think the majority of the units have them. Obviously, big additions to Defenders of Justice that I don't currently have are the Gamma 1 and 2 units. So those are obviously two crucial hitters to the team, and they do elevate the team quite substantially. The thing is, no one else can lead the team except for Videl. So any other kind of team you put together is kind of like a half dissection of the team. So then, you know, we looked at free-to-play options. There's actually quite a few good free-to-play options. You've got units like Casserelle, you've got units like Great Saiyaman 1 and 2 LR, Great Saiyaman 2 and 1, Videl and Gohan, or Great Saiyaman and Vidohan, Great Saiyaman and Videl. So you got quite a few good options. Thing is, a lot of them, as I mentioned before, all supports. So they all support the category, or they all support Signature Pose, or they all support everything. They provide defense, they provide key, which means that at the end of the day, they usually just aren't strong enough to be a flagship unit on their own. I would wager the only two real flagship units on the Defenders of Justice category now, excluding Heroes units, is Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. I think those are, realistically speaking, the only two flagship, huge damage dealing top tier units that exist for the category. You know, I think outside of that, a lot of the units are great, just more support orientated. You know, Super 17's awesome, but he is more support orientated. LR Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, also a cool unit, also support orientated. Videl, great damage dealer, still to a certain extent, but has edged out a little bit defensively. Then you have units like Jacko, who's great in terms of utility, but does not provide any offense basically. And then you just have a whole bunch of great free-to-play options who aren't necessarily bad, but are more predominantly supports. Now you do have a cool Universe 11 kind of build you can go for. However, it's just lacking one more decent option. I would say if you get an easy A to Strength Jiren or to Strength Jiren, then basically you can run this, because Casserole and Toppo I think together have a pretty good combination. Toppo ages pretty well because of his guard mechanic, so you only need one more Universe 11 unit to trigger it. And then finally, in terms of Defenders of Justice, just a special mention to the Dragon Ball Heroes units, because the Dragon Ball Heroes units are, to be honest with you, they are very good. And the thing is they're a bit more secluded, because obviously you can only get Heroes or Dragon Ball Heroes units pretty much on one banner per year, which means although they obviously are part of the Defenders of Justice category, it is difficult to kind of say they are the best Defenders of Justice team, because unless you summon on Heroes banners like I do, you probably won't have any. And so that makes it difficult to be like, well, these are the best Defenders of Justice units, because a lot of players probably won't have them. And that makes it a bit difficult to kind of dictate that they are the best for the category, because unless you're summoning on that Heroes banner, you're not going to have them. But yeah, I think overall it's a really fun category, and we'll see how it does in SBR and ESBR and the Red Zone. But yeah, let me know what you think. Bye.